Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Lords of the Night. With me, as always, is the Lord of Pain, Ranting Monkey,
Hi, guys.
and the Lord of Pennies, Satsu 2 Cents.
What up, now?
And I'm your host, Scribe, the Lord of Punishment. And hello, chat. Hello, everyone. Thanks to everyone who has sent or chatted to me well wishes on this day of days. Sorry I didn't get to say directly thank you to all of you. Appreciate it, though.
God
Hope
damn
it. Oh, okay. Sorry to
I
Monkey.
forgot what today was. Oh my! Congratulations, Scribbles.
Thank you, Monkey.
God, my mind is so fucked. I apologize, dude. Congratulations.
It's okay. Well, no, I'm not gonna. We're gonna talk stuff at deep topic time or something, but that's fine. Hope everyone is having a good week so far, and hope everyone found this channel today, even though we're a little bit off the usual schedule because I claimed today for myself, so to speak. Monkey Satsu, hello. How are you doing? How are you, Satsu?
I am good. Happy anniversary, bro.
Thanks so much. And what do you?
Day.
It's been a good day.
Yeah, it's been a good day.
Because you didn't have to use your AK.
That's right.
Right. And Monkey, how are you?
Me, but I have a couple of Grand Monkey stories for you.
Yay, Grand Monkey.
I was watching Satsu's game stream earlier, and Little Butt comes in, and she starts immediately going, "Hello, hello," because she could hear Satsu and wanted to talk to him.
Mm-hmm.
And then right before this stream, she comes running into my room. "Are you streaming?" I'm like, "No, not yet, baby. We don't have the link or anything. I want to stream."
Oh.
So I put her on a pre-stream real quick that we did just before this, just so she could say hi. And she kept yelling, "Hello!" She was actually looking for you too.
Oh, I wish I'd known. I would have sent the link earlier just to get her on. Oh well, maybe next time. Did she have a good day today?
She did. She got to go shopping with her mom and dad, and she got a Belle dress from what's the fucking movie? Beauty and the Beast.
Ooh.
And she was wearing it for me, and she goes, "I can do tricks." And she goes, "Watch." And she'd spin around in a circle, and then she'd do a somersault. Yeah, she was having a good time in her dress.
Oh,
those were her tricks.
Let's see. Thank you, Flair Fritz. Thank you, Sarah Plyer. Thank you, Joys of Sorrow. Thank you, Ebony. Let's see. What else? Thank you, All You Need. Thank you, Irish Rose. Thank you guys so much. Appreciate it.
And yes, congratulations on 2 years, dude.
Yeah, appreciate it. I'll go into more depth on all that stuff when we get to deep topic time. I don't want to take up too much time with that right now. Let's see. Monkey Dick, Jim Jones, movies, video games. Hit that like button if you have not already. And I can see that quite a few of you have not. And it's my special day. So I'd really appreciate it if we could get to 100 before we get to hour 2. Because usually that doesn't happen on my nights. But, it happens on Monkey's nights because everybody loves Monkey.
Oh, everybody hopes that Lady Monkey will come on or that Grand Monkey will come on. And that's why they do that.
Yeah, that's why prior to them being involved in your channel at all, your subscriber count was at like 10,000 and such. Yeah. Thank you, Mashisu. Happy anniversary, Scribe. Also, it's his kitten's son's birthday tomorrow. Uh-oh.
It is. And his kitten sent me a message asking if we could sing to Vincent. Partially to embarrass him.
Oh, should we do that? Is Vincent listening? Should we wait until Vincent is within earshot, or does it really matter?
I think it can be played for him later. One of the reasons she wanted us to scream. I guess that's probably right. Sing tonight is that they won't be able to listen tomorrow. So,
holy cow! Thank you, Circus Zero. Happy YouTubeversary. Thank you so much. That's very generous of you. Appreciate that.
Indeed.
So Vincent, it is.
Vincent, it is. Yes.
Oh, thank you, Zorento Zero. Monkey is sexist. He used a young female to be cute on stream. Har har. Good evening, everyone, and hope your day is getting better. Good vibes sent out to you. Well, thank you so much, Zoran.
That's very nice.
Very nice. All right.
Although
so Vincent
called me a sexist.
Well, but you are 19th Amendment. Yeah. Do your thing, Monkey.
Vincent, I'm not sure if you're listening now or not, but when you hear this, Vincent is listening, says his kid.
Boy. Well, Vincent. Yes.
This one's for you. And a 1 and a 2. Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Vincent.
Mm-hmm.
Happy birthday to you.
Scribe, what happened
Vincent.
on that last happy birthday?
Oh no, Vincent, I understand you're an adult now. Good luck with all that.
Yeah, hope you appreciated that wonderful singing of ours to you.
I hope your mom makes that whole thing her ringtone.
Thank you, Angry Illinoisian, for the happy anniversary. Thank you, Stargazer Nuts, for all the popper celebration thingies, whatever they are. Yeah, so gosh, thank you guys so much already. We haven't even really begun yet. So do we have anything else to... You guys are streaming tonight, are you not?
No.
Oh, you're
What
not?
day is this?
Oh.
Today is Thursday.
Oh, yes, no.
Sorry. I go one day off of my schedule, and my brain thinks it's Friday now. So that's what happens when you get sort of entrenched in a particular routine every week, guys. This is what you have to look forward to, Vincent, when you're old and can't remember things as well.
Yeah, good luck. Good luck.
So into the snooze shall we go?
It's your show. It's your special day. You get to decide.
Oh, well, there's a irate bear. Happy anniversary, mate. Seems like only yesterday I convinced you to come on a stream with me. It's true. What
if you don't like our singing, blame Bear.
Yeah, we'll postpone the news. Oh, thank you, Tall Person. Money can be exchanged for goods and services. Anyway, happy anniversary. You do good work. Keep it up. Thank you so much, Tall Person. Tall Person, one of our longtime viewers and adherents, I suppose.
He's a all-time viewer.
I'll like sprinkle stories throughout the stream. So I guess the place to start is how I got here in the first place, and it is really Irate Bear's fault. I was on Minds.com when it was first sort of burgeoning up, and I came across this post randomly one afternoon or whatever. If I hadn't been at my computer at that time, who knows what would have happened. Anyway, Irate Bear, some random person, posted, I'm going to do a live stream in about 5 minutes. Anybody want to join, just let me know. And I was like, okay. And I'd been watching commentary YouTubers for about, a year and a half, whatever at that point. I really started watching them just before Gamergate hit. I got in on the whole craze as an observer before Gamergate with Internet Aristocrat and Mundane Matt and Sargon and Hagbard Celine. And so when Gamergate struck, I got sort of enthralled by the commentary channels and just started watching them off and on all over the place. And then when Irate Bear's like, hey, want to come on the stream? It's like, okay, I don't know what I'll say. And I talked to him for like an hour. And as the story goes, I thought, if this idiot can do YouTube, I suppose I can. So I invested in some video editing software, or got a 30-day trial at least, and started making a couple of videos and talked to Irate Bear and stuff, and also touch base with all my other contemporary friends at this point, like Tailed Feature and Gutenberg and Miss Misa and eventually Monkey and, so many other people. And it's just been sort of a journey from there. Thank you, Johnny Hellcat. Happy Scribe-versary. Here's to many more. Thank you so much, Johnny.
Can I just say, I'm really, what's the word I'm looking for? I'm impressed by that. I could never just randomly go on a stream, especially before I started. Just go on a stream. Somebody, hey, you want to come talk? Because I wouldn't have known what to say. I'm a pretty outgoing person, but a situation like that I could not have done. So hats off to you, man.
Oh, I had been pondering starting a channel at that point. I've already had my Minds.com identification was already Scribelite and everything. I just kind of carried that over into the channel. So I've been thinking about it, but I was really nervous because, the thing that kept me back for the longest time was, how could I have anything interesting to say up against the likes of, say, at the time, Sargon or Jim or Skeptor or any of those other guys that I just so I didn't revere, so to speak, but I just had a lot of respect for their ability to sort of craft a narrative and to tell a story and also to critique things. And my advice to anybody else who thinks the same as I did at that time: ignore that and just do it. And just start and see if you like it and see how you do. And practice makes perfect, or less mediocre, I guess, over time. So, but anyway, there's musings number one. Let's get on to the news for a little bit, guys. We're going to go back and forth here a little bit tonight, just for the hell of it. So, you guys like hurricanes?
I do, but not when they destroy stuff.
Yeah, I'm not a particular fan of hurricanes, but so the latest on Michael. Which seems weirdly appropriate now that we're in October. I think of Michael Myers kind of thing. But Michael, the death toll from the hurricane is now sitting at 6. And there are several Florida cities that are literally in ruins. There's a place called Mexico Beach. And for lack of a better phrase, it was flattened. I mean... It's weird how hurricanes and tornadoes work and such. You see an overhead shot of a city, and you just see nothing but like empty, blank, scoured lots all over the place. And then there'll be like one house sitting right in the middle that must have taken some damage, but is still structurally there. So odd. But anyway, Mexico Beach is just gone for all intents and purposes. Tropical storm Michael has claimed a life in North Carolina, bringing the total death toll from the storm to at least 6. Michael's trail of devastation stretches from the Florida Panhandle, where it wiped out one coastal city and left others swimming in debris, to the Carolinas and Virginia, where flash floods are turning roads into rivers. Along the way, nearly 1.1 million customers in 6 states have been left without power. The dead include 4 people in Florida, a child in Georgia, and a man in North Carolina. And authorities fear the death toll could climb as search and rescue efforts continue. Thank you, Michael Cruza. I didn't kill nobody. Where's my lawyer? Oh, that Michael. No, Michael. Well, unless your nickname's like the Hurricane, like you're a boxer or something. That'd be kind of cool. Thank you, Adebisi. Bad advice, Scribe. How Steve Shives came to be. I don't begrudge Steve Shives his ability to have a YouTube channel. I may not agree with him. But
I don't judge Steve Shives. I judge his viewers.
Yeah, was that too? No, I encourage anybody that wants to.
Absolutely.
Marketplace of ideas, free speech. As long as YouTube allows you to, however long that's going to last. Let's see. These are the latest bullet point developments. Interstate 10 has reopened. An 80-mile stretch of I-10 is open after it was closed due to debris. Next, where is Michael? As of Thursday afternoon, the storm was centered about 20 miles northwest of Raleigh, North Carolina, and was headed northeast. Next, the storm is forecast to intensify as it moves over the Atlantic as a post-tropical low Thursday night, and Friday it is expected to gain strength. Oh, that's not good. And lastly, farmers get pummeled. At least 53 poultry houses were destroyed in Georgia, where agriculture is the top industry. The state's Department of Agriculture said many crops such as vegetables and cotton may also be affected. Well, that's...
Is this going to make my chicken more expensive?
Probably.
For
a time, yeah. Depending on, especially where you're at in the country. Let's see. Anyway, and then it goes into a lot of, stories and pictures and such of the devastation and things. And, just like with every other natural disaster, it's just awful. People's lives just completely destroyed and upended. So I can only hope that everybody in the chat, if you had family members or if you yourself are anywhere near this thing, that you're all right and that your property and everything else is safe. But if not, I can only, extend my condolences and hope that everything normalizes sooner rather than later.
Yeah, sorry, nothing to add to that. It's just, it's a hurricane that's fucking things up. There's not a lot more to say.
Yeah, acts of nature. And I love the arguments. Is like, whenever the hurricane comes up, sorry?
Oh, keep going. I'm sorry.
I was going to say, whenever a hurricane comes up, I think back to that Vox video where they kept like trying to blame the people in the path of the hurricane for having gotten hit by a hurricane. And it just like, I don't know. It's stuck in my mind. I worked on that video, and I was just every time this comes up, I just like there are people out there that think this, and it just makes me nuts.
Well, this probably should go at fucketry time, but there's not a lot to say about it anyway. But since we're on the subject, George Takei tweeted out today, just when you think you can't sink any lower, Kanye West is in the Oval Office talking to reporters. By the way, Mr. Trump, there was a really bad hurricane.
Yeah. George, tell me about touching men while they're sleeping. Anyway, yeah, you want to talk about like the moral superiority here. I mean, I got my complaints about Trump, but George, yeah, anyway. Moving on to a little bit of an update to a story we've been talking about for the last few days. The limousine crash.
Oh, yeah.
So there's not much more to say, except for the fact that this new little tidbit came out. The man charged with criminally negligent homicide in a fatal limousine crash had packed bags in his car when police stopped him. He was
like he was running?
He was running, apparently. State police arrested Nauman Hussein, 28, on Wednesday. He is the son of Shahed Hussein, who owns the limousine company that has come under scrutiny since one of its vehicles wrecked in upstate New York, killing 20 people. Now, I've heard on the radio earlier this morning that the father at the time of the crash was in Pakistan. So he wasn't anywhere near when this happened. But the son was effectively the guy who authorized not only the car to be used, but that guy to be driving the car. So,
I was wondering, because when they charged him specifically, it had to be something like that.
Yeah. So far as I know, and again, guys, you know, I'm happy to be corrected if some new information comes out. So far as I've been told by a couple of sources now, not directly, but you know, news and such, that he himself was the guy who like signed off on or instructed the car to be used and the guy to go drive the car. So there's a direct line between what happened and this guy being the decision maker. So that's apparently what causes him to be charged with the negligent homicide. Let's see. Aaron Medley, thank you. Congratulations on 2 years. Appreciate it. What else? I'm just grabbing things that I see in the chat, guys. I apologize if I don't get to everybody. It's going to be a busy night. We have political news. That's not Trump, technically.
Political news?
I know, and it's not Trump. It's not Kavanaugh. Stacey Abrams' campaign demands GOP's Kemp resign as Georgia Secretary of State amid voter registration uproar.
That is a long title.
That is a long title. So let me read the story because that is a long title.
Let's break that down.
Georgia Democrat Stacey Abrams' campaign is calling on Republican Secretary of State Brian Kemp to resign following a report his office is using a controversial verification law to effectively suppress the minority vote in their race to become the state's next governor. Okay. The demand from the Abrams campaign comes in response to an Associated Press report on records it obtained showing Georgia has put a hold on more than 53,000 voter registration applications, nearly 7 in 10 of them belonging to African Americans, because they failed to clear the state's, quote, exact match, unquote, standard. Under the policy, even the most minor discrepancy, like a typo or missing letter, between a voter's registration and their driver's license, Social Security, or state ID cards can be flagged. Okay. Quote, as he has done for years, Brian Kemp is maliciously wielding the power of his office to suppress the vote for political gain and silence the voices of thousands of eligible voters, the majority of them people of color, Abrams spokeswoman Abigail Collazo said in a statement. Collazo pushed for Kemp to step down, quote, so that Georgia voters can have confidence that their Secretary of State competently and impartially oversee this election, unquote. Georgia Democrats were rebuffed when they made a similar request earlier in the year. Kemp's campaign maintains voters whose names were tied up in the system would still be able to either sort out the documentation at election sites or, if not, cast provisional ballots. It also touted the state's growing rolls, saying they were likely to surpass 7 million once the final numbers came in following Tuesday's registration deadline. How many people are going to go well, first off, how do you get notification that you're not eligible? And then how do you correct that when you go to the election table or site?
I would imagine wouldn't you have to do that during registration?
I would think so, but if you're already registered, why would there already be a discrepancy? Or register again? Yeah, I don't know. Let's see, quote, while outside agitators disparage this office and falsely attack us, we have kept our head down and remained focused on ensuring secure, accessible, and fair elections for all voters, Kemp said in a statement. Quote, the fact is that it has never been easier to register to vote and get engaged in the electoral process in Georgia, and we are incredibly proud to report this new record, unquote. Abrams, who became a national Democratic star during her primary campaign, I've never heard of her, so far as I know, is vying to become the first Black woman elected governor in any state. She is running neck and neck with Kemp, with most recent polling and analysis predicting a toss-up on Election Day. Republicans have held the governor's mansion in Georgia since 2003. The current occupant, Governor Nathan Deal, will leave office next year after serving the maximum 2 terms. Well, I can see the policy is meant to sort of prevent or rebuff voter fraud, or, everything's got to be perfect so that nobody can say that something's been done untoward. So I guess if they're that exact about it.
Yeah.
I guess. Thank you. Nope. No, if you have a discrepancy caught at the polls, they give you an absentee ballot. Happy internet birthday, Scribe. Thank you. Nope.
Okay.
Well, then, yeah, they're talking about provisional ballots. Is provisional the same thing as absentee?
I don't think so.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I mean, if you're at the poll and you're given an absentee ballot, you weren't absent, you were there. So anyway, if they have mechanisms to address this when it does come up, if you've got your ID on you to say, I am this person, and there you go, it might be an inconvenience, but it doesn't stop you from voting. Let's see. Backscan says Scribe Light, but it's only the POC according to them. No, they said 1 in 10 are people of color or something out of the 53,000. I think it was.
I thought it was something like 7 in 10.
Yeah, sorry. You're right. No, 7 in 10. I apologize. 7 in 10 of them belonging to African Americans. So 70% of the 53,000 are people of. God, I hate using that phrase. It harkens back to all the shit I was told was bad when I was.
You know what? You know a phrase I like? Non-honky. Because that's what they mean, non-honky.
Anyway, so that's political news that's not Trump. But how about some political news that is Trump?
Before you do that, I want to hear another story. And I have a question for you that may set it up a little bit. How did you get interested in politics? Was there a specific thing, or is it just something that started to build up over your life?
I think it was a chain of events. I know this is going to sound cliche, but I think I've said this before, it really started with 9/11 and all the machinery and fallout from that in our political process, in the questions of civil rights under, Homeland Security and the Patriot Act and the Bush administration and back and forth. And I think the person who really sort of honed me into being more attentive to politics was probably Keith Olbermann. When he started doing his special comments on his show Countdown back in 2003, I think it was. His early ones, especially. I mean, there was this sort of Edward R. Murrow sort of talking to the people and trying to distill down what was going on in the day and sort of like plain speaking. Okay. And I mean, I have my issues with Keith Olbermann then, and more especially now with some of the tangents he's gone off on. But regardless, I credit him with sort of making me think outside of what the news was telling me in a canned way, and saying, look at the situation, think about it outside of what they're telling you for a second, and does it make sense? That's what his early special comments really did. So if you, I'm sure they must be on YouTube somewhere, but if you look up his early special comments, like the one on Rumsfeld, there's a couple on Bush that are early on, and a couple when Hillary was running against Obama that really struck home. So yeah, I guess that's kind of the genesis of my interest in politics. But I've always, in a sort of general sense, I've always been interested by political intrigue because of movies like The Hunt for Red October and playing Vampire the Masquerade. Vampire the Masquerade has a lot of political machinations.
A lot of political stuff in there.
Yeah, a lot of political stuff in there that are specific to the setting, but you know the motivations and the power plays can easily be translated to real life if you just sort of like replace the Ventrue with the Republicans and the Brouhaha with the Democrats and just say, oh, okay. So yeah, I've always had sort of a conspiracy mechanisms of power sort of interest, I guess, in different ways. And it just that doing this show and talking about the news every night, it's just sort of mapped over to real life politics more so, I think, now.
Well, since I'm a horrible friend and forgot to do anything for this, I've decided that's what I'm going to do tonight. I'm going to stop you ever so often and ask you questions.
Oh, so you're going to interrupt me while in the process of doing the show?
Yep.
Gosh, what an alien landscape I find myself on. Anyway,
I just told you because I'm a horrible friend.
No, it's so speaking of horrible friends, let's talk about Kanye West.
Yes, let's.
This happened today. People are making a really big deal out of it, but I don't know why you would expect anything less when we elected a game show host for president. But hey, whatever you want. It's not the first time that Kanye has gone to the White House. I guess it's just the first time that he was in the Oval Office and all the reporters were there. We also got to find out Kanye's phone code to unlock his phone. Did you see that?
I did not.
Somebody filmed him unlocking his iPhone, and his code is 000000.
That makes sense.
I mean, it would be.
I would have on a suitcase.
I was about to say it'd be more perfect. If it was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then we could totally go to Spaceballs. Anyway, why the Kanye West Jim Brown lunch? Was Jim Brown even there? I didn't know that. With Trump was a disaster. This is an analysis piece. This was the top story on CNN before the stream. So an analysis piece from CNN on Kanye West is the top story. Imagine this. A president concerned about the opioid crisis that is ravaging many communities, particularly white Midwestern communities, invites a retired football player and a famous musician to talk about the crisis. And imagine that this is one of the few high-level meetings he has had about the crisis, which has led to the deaths of tens of thousands of Americans. Are you blaming the deaths of tens of thousands of Americans from opioids on Trump now?
That really did sound like it, didn't it?
That did sound like it. When did this opioid crisis start again?
Back
Obama,
in, yeah.
Well, that is kind of what just happened. Tell me again that CNN has not just become a blog site.
They're bad.
I swear to God, I would not be surprised at all. Somebody told me that everybody who was fired or lost their job from Gawker eventually trickled in to the infrastructure of CNN. Because really, I swear to God, I said this before Trump was inaugurated. If Trump is elected, you won't be able to tell the difference between CNN and TMZ. And we're practically, we've been there a while, but this is more so like that. Okay, well, that is kind of what just happened. Not with the opioids, but with the critical, potentially lethal issues facing many African Americans across the country. Also, CNN, why are those 2 commas in bold and no other commas on there are bold?
Because they're especially important ones.
Is that how we emphasize things now, with bold commas?
Yes.
So didn't this start by saying that this issue is mostly concerning white people, and then they just said this is a serious issue for black people around the world?
Well, no. See, so let me try this again. Okay, and imagine this is one of the few high-level meetings he has had about the crisis, which has led to the deaths of tens of thousands of Americans. Well, that is kind of what just happened. Not with the opioids, but with the critical, potentially lethal issues facing many African Americans across the country. That is a confusing set of sentences there.
Yeah, this whole thing is just nonsense so far.
On Thursday, President Donald Trump had a working lunch with Kanye West and retired football player Jim Brown. This was the meeting's preview sent by the White House ahead of time. Quote, the discussion will be centered on President Trump's historic work to benefit all Americans, such as urban revitalization, the creation of opportunity zones, this all sounds very buzzword, new workforce training programs, record highs in African-American employment, the creation of manufacturing jobs, ideas from his meeting with African-American pastors, potential future clemencies, and addressing the massive violent crime surge in Chicago, unquote. Now, I will not deny having Jim Brown and Kanye West in as the two people you're going to talk to about these issues is a little counterproductive, maybe.
Well, he talked to fucking his wife about prison reform.
This was okay. Sorry, let me skip down. Shorter readout. This was Trump's Black people meeting.
What?
That is the analysis. Let me put in quotation marks. The analysis from Nia Malika Henderson from CNN. Let's see. CNN's Nia Malika Henderson explores the politics of identity in American life, race, religion, region, gender, class, and party as part of CNN's coverage of the dynamics driving the 2018 midterm elections. So, identity politics expert here. All right. What a meeting it was. No cameras were allowed in the lunch, but West's about 10-minute soliloquy, professional journalism, but West's about 10-minute soliloquy in the Oval Office provided a window into the ground covered. Here are some ideas West raised. Bring Trump factories and Yeezy ideation centers to Chicago. I didn't know we produced Trumps. I thought like Ivana was the Trump factory.
I'm naked, I'm wet, and I am here, ladies and gentlemen.
That was not the right time to say that when I'm talking about Trump factories. Are you a Trump factory?
No, I just hopped out of the shower.
On the other side, she's not lying.
That's true.
There's a wet, naked Weibo in the stream.
I am so turned on right now. I don't know what to say.
Happy anniversary, Scribe.
You know, that means so much more knowing you're nude right now. So thank you, Weibo. You completely changed the dynamic of this whole show.
I bet I have.
Satsu backs away slowly.
Well, are you taking on like a southern accent now? Oh shit, I'm gonna have to go into my southern accent here pretty soon.
I'm reading the chat. This is great.
Yeah. Well, let me finish the story and then we can talk about Naked Weibo.
Okay.
Because Kanye West has given us some really good things to think about. Thank you, Nope. Camera on. Not if I want to keep my channel. I mean, I suppose it would be a good cap off to 2 years to have my channel destroyed at a 2-year mark. That would be ironically appropriate. But no, the mind's eye will be enough. I'll have her turn the camera on.
Wants to see a wet, naked penis.
Oh, there's that too. Well, Nope can just go hop in the shower himself.
I'm sorry, was that too loud?
No, you were fine.
I thought look, to be honest, I wasn't even looking at the Hangout.
Yeah, I thought it was a soundboard.
Yeah, I thought it was a soundboard. I'm like, what the fuck?
That's gonna be on my soundboard.
Yeah, you can clip that, guys, because you got that out loud and clear. Let's see. What other wisdom did Kanye give us? His MAGA hat made him feel like a superhero. Make the dopest know the flyest cars.
What?
School is boring. Kids should play basketball while they are doing math. Time. What? No, these are apparently quotes or notes that he made. A time doesn't exist. That's very deep. Stop worrying about the future. We only have today. That sounds like an inspirational poster you'd see on the wall at the dentist. Trump and Colin Kaepernick wearing Make America Great hats at the Super Bowl. Yeah, that'll never happen. Stop and frisk is bad. The solution to police brutality is love. Something about an I-plane, whatever an I-plane or I-plane, I don't know. Opening up industries and tax breaks. And then something about liberals distracting black people by focusing on racism. Well, that one, he might have a point. About the others, I have no fucking idea what he was smoking.
I'm not sure that even he would at this point. I do like that the solution to police brutality is love.
Yeah.
Instead of getting my ass beat if I got a blowjob, I think that would be better.
Yeah. Well, it depends on the cop.
I'm not going to be that picky, really. Compared to getting your ass beat, I think a blowjob even from a dude would be great.
If the cop looks like, what was her name from Police Academy, the blonde lady?
Fuck.
I mean, not the actress, but I mean the...
I know her name in the show.
Yeah.
God damn it.
Somebody in the chat will beat us to it. So what are the goals here? For Trump, it was a chance for him to say, comma... No, if you're going to say that, you have to put quotation marks around it. Like you're quoting... Oh my God. Fuck me. Okay. Try that again. For Trump, comma, it was a chance for him to say, comma, Trump does care about black people, comma, but don't take my word for it, comma, listen to Kanye West. But what the meeting highlighted was how few African Americans Trump has in his circle. Oh. Omarosa Manigault Newman, who wrote a scathing tell-all on Trump, hasn't been replaced. What, with another black woman? Oh, that's right. You're the expert on identity politics. You don't care about individual merit. You just care about the optics because, yeah.
Yeah, they just said hasn't been replaced. Like, like possessive that sound. That one Negro he had hasn't been replaced yet. So
grab me a new Negro.
The meeting also highlights how seriously Trump takes issues that his base doesn't really care about. Well, I suppose like I-planes and time is not real. Rather than invite real policy experts, say on education or criminal justice, Trump brought before the cameras two famous black men who like him. The result was about what one would expect, a hard-to-parse, bizarre Oval Office moment with very little substance fueled by West's desperate need for attention and Trump's need for open adoration by famous people. And guess what, Nia Malika Henderson? You wrote a whole blog post on it. I mean, you want to talk about press? He got
like Trump won again.
Yeah, it's almost like he planned this to be an attention getter, and you guys fell for it.
I want to get back to naked weebs.
Well, I do too, but we have to wait until after the stream's over before we can ever turn our camera on.
I actually can't stay that long. I have to go get drunk with my housemates.
Are you getting dressed first?
Yes.
Oh.
Oh.
Those poor guys.
Okay. Well, even though I can't see it, will you cup your breasts for me?
Yeah.
Yay!
I just did.
Okay.
Ooh.
I just wanted to give you a good stream anniversary. Stream anniversary?
Oh, you're the highlight so far after Monkey forgot that this was actually happening.
Yeah.
It's not my fault. I'm famous for not knowing or remembering shit.
Well, Weibo, thank you so much for showing up and surprising the hell out of me and everybody else. Thank you for being naked. That's a first, I think, for my stream.
No, it ain't.
Oh, God.
Wait,
Monkey. So if you're going to go get drunk with your housemates, well, don't go too far and don't get in trouble any more than is necessary.
Don't become a Title IX case.
Yeah.
I think we're good. I trust the guys in my house, so we're good.
All right. Well, do they trust you is the other question.
Yeah, I wasn't
fair.
talking
That's
about
fair.
getting assaulted.
Yes, because we all know that I, the 5'2" Polak woman, am a sexual predator.
That's right.
That's right. Especially with that giant penis.
I'll never be on the Supreme Court now.
Oh, no.
And with that, I bid you adieu.
Bye, Weibo.
Bye. Mwah.
Thank you, Jenna P. Congrats, Scribbles. I've said it before. You and Monkey have helped me while I walk through hell, and sassy you three give me the strength to fight when I had no fight left. Thanks. P.S. No punctuation, just for you. Thank you. Thank you. Except you used an apostrophe, so sorry.
She did in P.S. too.
I know.
Close, though. Close enough to annoy him.
Thank you, Nope. Scribe, take one for the team. Let Weebs show us. Yeah, well, let Weebs. Yeah, it's up to her.
I feel like that's self-serving.
She's an independent woman that don't need no man except for some Greek somewhere.
Yeah, that's right.
Anyway, those are all the stories that I had pulled up, and we're already in MSS news time. So let's do a couple of those, and we'll probably get to fewer of those tonight, just because of the night that it is. So let me go there if Twitter will let me navigate. All right, so guys, if you have news stories that you'd like us to conceivably read on the air, please send them to us via Twitter using the hashtag MSSNews. Can't promise we'll get to them all because sometimes I have a special day and other things to talk about. So let's see. What do we have?
That should be a kid's book, Scribe Special Day.
Scribe Special Day.
He read CNN articles and they were all properly punctuated and grammatically correct.
All right, so George Mason has sent us a fake news story. It's from the World News Daily Report, which is basically the weekly world news of the internet amongst so many others.
That. I don't know if I've ever mentioned this. The Weekly World News, my favorite article they ever did. They said everybody in China was going to jump at the same time to throw the Earth off its orbit.
I still remember
that's awesome.
I still remember the Bat Boy discovered cover. Thank you, Terry DeMont. It's just a heads up, Monkey. It's Scribe's YouTube anniversary. If you forget, he'll never let you live it down.
On the plus side, I won't remember what he's not letting me live down.
There you go. So I'm not going to read the fake story because it is fake, but I'll read the headline because it's the headline. California pro-choice activist proudly breaks world record by getting her 27th abortion.
What?
Yeah.
That's the fake article, though, right? Okay.
Yes, that's the fake one. So this one comes from Pinkalo the Driving Ape Man, or Pinkalo the Driver, or just the driver. Let's come on, story. Okay, and they're going to play a video in my ear, aren't they? Of course they are, because why wouldn't they? Shut up. Girl Scout cookies to be available for purchase at voting booths across Connecticut. And that's the story, because then they rely on the video to tell me more. So, well, that's one way to get people to come to the voting centers, I suppose.
They're getting people to come with Girl Scout cookies?
Yeah, they're going to have Girl Scout cookies for sale at the voting booth. So that'll get you, you vote and you get a sugar high.
Don't Girl Scout cookies sell in February?
Maybe it's a special promotion. Just in Connecticut. I don't know.
All right.
Let's see. Is this real? I suppose it might be. This one comes from Massive Dynamics. This isn't good. If it'll open up. Are you going to play another video at me? No? Okay. Medieval knight reenactor dies after impaling himself on a lance.
Oh, bad day.
Peter Barkley was stabbed in the chest after his lance hit the ground and flipped as he was reportedly trying to spear a plate. Peter Barkley, 53, was competing in an equestrian game in Williamstown, Kentucky, when the freak accident happened. His metal-tipped lance hit the ground and flipped, stabbing him in the chest, according to his brother John. The victim, from Virginia, was reportedly trying to spear a plate on the ground at the time. John Barkley said his sibling, who performed under the name Master Terraphan Grey Dragon, died as he was being flown to a hospital. He added, quote, "He died doing what he loved, but will still be missed. R.I.P. Peter, a.k.a. Terraphan Grey Dragon." Mr. Barkley said his brother was a regional equestrian master for the Society for Creative Anachronism, SCA, and next year he would have risen in the organization to the title of Worldwide Equestrian Grand Marshal. He served in the U.S. Army in England and in Germany. The SCA, which is dedicated to researching and recreating the arts and skills of pre-17th century Europe, said, quote, "The Society's equestrian marshal, Master Terraphan Grey Dragon, died while competing in an equestrian game at an SCA event in Kentucky. We've reached out to Terraphan's family to express our support for them at this moment of loss. We ask that Terraphan and his family be held in your hearts."
How the fuck did he do it? Because when you hold a lance, it goes under your arm.
Well, so he was aiming at the ground to hit a plate. And so the tip of the lance goes into the ground, and then I guess he lost control of it, and it flipped up, and he was still going forward, and it hit him in the chest. That's the only thing I can think of. Somehow,
Yeah,
I don't know.
He had to have been, in my mind, he had to have been holding it wrong.
Yeah, maybe.
Either way, is that an ancient tradition? Did knights used to run around poking plates with their lances?
I don't know what lance equestrian games involve, so.
All right.
Thank you, Pincalo, the driving ape man. Good on the 2 years, Scribe. For some internet fucketry, I recommend the #DefyNormal. Hope you go for 2 more. Also, do you have Streamlabs? I do not have Streamlabs. I'm still waiting to have somebody verify to me how they handle reporting on income, because Google does all of the paperwork and stuff and sends me the forms and everything and then all that, and then I just have to enter in stuff. I don't know how Streamlabs handles that, because if they're just sort of a pass-through for the money, I don't know if then I have to end up doing all the taxes separately as a different income stream or something. And I know that sounds petty or something, but I don't want to fuck up my taxes if I'm getting stuff that I'm not having some kind of record of it that I'm able to keep. So I'm assuming that Monkey and or Satsu by the end of this year will have some information on that once their Streamlabs stuff comes up for the yearly, I presume, tax reviews. So.
Real quick, the first thing that pops up when I go to Defy Normal is a picture that says, feminism isn't about making women stronger. Women are already strong. It's about changing the way the world perceives that strength.
Right. Okay. Moving on.
Yeah.
This one comes from Todoro Kori, who I assume is Kori Suzuki. I know it's an assumption, but okay. Is that fucking polling station thing calling me, that survey company calling me again? I bet you they are. It's about 6. Yeah, it's about 6:30. Yeah, they're doing it again. Okay. Anyway, same-sex mice have babies.
What?
Baby mice have been made with 2 mums and no dad, say researchers at the Chinese Academy of Sciences. It took a substantial feat of genetic engineering to break the rules of reproduction.
How so? How'd they do it? That's what I want to know.
Yeah, the scientists said the bimaternal animals were healthy and went on to have pups of their own. But there was bad news on the all-male front. Mice with double dads were attempted, but died within days of being born, because men are obviously weaker. The researchers were trying to answer fundamental questions about why we have sex. Mammals, including us, can make babies only through sexual reproduction, aka you need an egg from mom and a sperm from dad. But the rest of the natural world doesn't play by the same rules. Some female fish, reptiles, amphibians, and birds can go it alone. Welcome to the bizarre world of virgin births, known officially as parthenogenesis. The aim of the Chinese researchers was to work out which rules of reproduction they needed to break to make baby mice from same-sex parents. That, in turn, helps understand why the rules are so important. Okay, so how do they do it? In short, with a lot of cutting-edge science. It was easier with double moms. The researchers took an egg from one mouse and a special type of cell, a haploid embryonic stem cell, from another. Both contained only half the required genetic instructions or DNA, but just bringing them together wasn't enough. The researchers had to use a technology called gene editing to delete 3 sets of genetic instructions to make them compatible. The double dad approach was slightly more complicated. It took a sperm, a male haploid embryonic stem cell, an egg that had its own genetic information removed, and the deletion of 7 genes to make it all work. Okay, so they broke the rules. What did they learn? The reason we need to have sex is because our DNA behaves differently depending on whether it comes from mom or dad. And without
Keep going, I'm sorry.
This is what they say. And without a female copy and a male copy, our whole development gets thrown out of whack. It's called genomic imprinting, with parts of the DNA in sperm and parts of the DNA in eggs getting different stamps that alter how they work. This goes on for a little while, guys, and I wanna move.
Because if you take two women and you just shove their pussies together and one of the eggs falls out into the other, it's not going to make a baby. You need sperm and egg. That's why we have sex.
Well,
I get what they did here,
yeah,
but there's no need to. We're not short on male mice. Just let them fuck normal.
Monkey's really sensitive about this.
It's moronic. It's a waste of fucking science. Keep going. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
It's connected to the whole, like, because if you think about the conversations that's going on around trans people or whatever, the reason that I stand really firm on my position as far as trans people go or whatever is because I know for an absolute fact that people have to have sex in order for humans to continue going on. And yes, there are other scientific ways you can get around it, but you have to do something extra or side to get around it. Other than that, if you want the human race to continue to exist, then that has to happen. So there's no argument there as to whether or not this is how it's supposed to be. You can do whatever the hell you want to do, but men and women, that's how it's supposed to be if you want to live and not go extinct.
It just bothered me the way they said that is that the reason we have to have sex. The reason we have to have sex is because sperm has to penetrate the egg. You can't just like two guys jack off together and you're going to end up with a baby when the mixture happens, or pop an egg out of a chick and throw it into another one and we would have babies. Except because that's not how it fucking works. What they're doing here is complete, like Satsu said, you have to do amazing things to make it even possible. They make it sound like it's just because there's a couple of genetic things.
Well, even if their intent, by your estimation, is unnecessary, the amount of work, but the amount of work and all the things that they had to put together and maybe even discover along the way in trying to make it happen could have fringe benefits for other kinds of medicines or therapies.
All right.
It could come up with some new ways of helping infertile women or infertile men be able to have children. So I don't know. I'm not discounting it completely just because maybe its initial intention might be a little screwy. But hey, how were sneakers created? Somebody accidentally dropped liquid rubber on a waffle iron. Shit happens.
Well, it's just the question doesn't make sense to me. It's like, well, why do we have sex? You know why? You literally just had to do crazy, insane fucking science to try to defy it.
Well, if they're trying to discover like what are the chemical mechanisms that cause us to want to have sex, like is it the DNA telling us we have to? What is the fundamental mechanism that encourages us to procreate aside from hell, sexual desire in and of itself is a chemical mechanism of a kind. So I don't know if that's what they were looking for somehow down in the gene level of things. It's an interesting question in that regard, I guess.
It is, but I've thought about this in a perspective of like every other thing in the world that pretty much procreates, especially the ones that we don't consider to have like the type of consciousness that people have. They just know that that's what they're supposed to do. Like it just happens. So I don't know.
Well, I'm going to do one last story before we move on to you. Okay, thank you.
Before you do that, I have another question.
Well, I have another super chat. Thank you. Nope. This woman mouse clone is going to go full fire breathing ape shit during that time of the month. Jesus, probably. Okay, well, if you're going to do another question, then I'm going to wrap up MSS News because we're already really late and we got a lot of other stuff to cover. So thank you guys so much for all the news stories. You guys make up half of our show at least every night. I really appreciate all the news stories you send. We'll have to try to do a retrospective maybe tomorrow or Friday or Saturday if we get some open time to try to catch up on some of these. Go ahead with your question, Monkey.
You are quite famously within our circle here known for your domination when it comes to sex, that you're into BDSM.
Yes.
When you first had sex, was this already implanted in you, or is this something that grew later?
I was into or mentally into BDSM long before I ever actually had sex. I'll give the short version of the story. Okay. I was briefly involved in a online sci-fi club back in like 97. And they had their weekly meetings through IRC chat. Now, I had never used IRC chat prior to joining this club thing where they had their little meetings or get-togethers or whatever. So I had no idea how it worked. And after a while, I found out, at least with the old IRC, you could type in any channel name you could think of to see if it already existed. You know, you just did £, before it was a hashtag, and put in a word or a name, and you could come up with something. So I put in things like, Star Wars. And of course, there was a channel or an established place for Star Wars.
Sure.
Just anything. But then, of course, being a teenage goofball, I put in things like ridiculous things. I put in like, I wonder if there's a channel for horse sex. And there was, and I ran away because it was gross. But then I put in, I'm not going to say what the channel name was because I don't want to, on the off chance it's still functional in some fashion or anybody out there. But anyway, I put in a random dirty collection of words to see if there was a channel about it. And up came, there was a channel with, administration bots and everything in there. And I saw these people in there, and I just kind of watched them for a while because they were talking about sexual things, but they were doing it in a very sort of regimented way. There were two types of names in the chat. There were names that had uppercase letters, and they were all like Sir something or Mr. whatever, and it was capital S or capital M. And then you'd have all these names that were all in lowercase letters. And at the end of those names, you'd see something like bracket capital S bracket or bracket capital ST bracket or something. And it was very weird. I was like, this is all, it looks like there's some kind of, for lack of a better word, a format to whatever they're doing. So I watched them for a while. And after a while, I understood that from what they were saying and other things, that this was a master-slave thing. If you were a master, you got to have capital letters in your name. If you were a submissive, all your name had to be in total lowercase. And if you had initials in brackets at the end of your name, that was your collar to the master you belonged to. So if you had someone like Sir Tristan, and you had their submissive's name was like Betty : ST : or something. That was her collar, in signifying that she was owned by Sir Tristan. So if you came into the chat and you started talking to someone with lowercase letters and you saw the little brackets at the end, you knew that you were talking to someone who was owned, so you couldn't say or interact with them in certain ways unless you got permission from their master.
Okay.
Bloodwing knows all about this. He was all into this stuff too, unbeknownst to me until we met. Anyway, so me being a virgin, but imaginative kid at the time, I just, and since, the internet is anonymous, nobody can see you, I gave myself a surname, not a surname, SURNAME, but a SIR name. And I started interacting as a Dom. And being that I was an imaginative kid, being that I was a burgeoning English major, or at least somebody who liked to write, and I was very, very imaginative, I began having cyber sex with, I assume women. To this day, I'll assume they were all women. And I would write these elaborate scenarios and scenes, very detailed about what I was doing and where we were and everything else. And I was just making it up off the top of my head. I had no real world experience. And after doing this for like, a year or whatever, I got a reputation in there. People came in looking for me, wanting to talk to me because they'd heard from their friends about how, I was so knowledgeable about bondage and BDSM and how to please a woman, and I'll describe all these things. And, the things I described about doing whatever I was doing to a woman's body were right on mark with what would happen in real life and what would make somebody happy. And I never lied to anybody when they came and said, "Oh my God, you must have been doing this for years." I say, "I've never had sex. I'm 19 or whatever I was at the time." And they're like, "No, you got to be at least 40." I'm like, "No, I'm not." And so over the course of time, in my mind, I had created this entire retinue of knowledge, especially interacting with other people, but I'd never actually done it in real life. It wasn't until way later, like a couple of years after, almost to the end of my college time, that I actually first had sex. And I didn't have anything that was kinky going on until I was 23, maybe. Something like that. There's bits and pieces in between that are very personal, but otherwise, yeah, it was all an academic exercise long before it was a reality. But the connection I would create with people through the cybering and the writing, and just how I had to be very detailed in my own mind in order to get across to them what was going on, sort of were the building blocks of me discovering that side of my sexuality.
You got to get that super chat because that's funny as hell.
Yeah, thank you, Gregory Hurst. His love of formats led to BDSM. How'd we miss it? Well, I do like having a certain level of control, and I tell you what, having something that's a little regimented does help with that, because it's predictable, you know where the boundaries are, you don't have to do a lot of guesswork, and I've got these two guys trained pretty well at this point, don't I?
You do indeed. We're
All
his
right,
bitches. Did you realize that?
Sorry, what?
We're his bitches. I'm talking to Satsu.
Yeah,
I ain't nobody's bitch.
We are.
you're
you don't have to like it.
You're Squishy's bitch.
Well, you
That's
noticed
true,
I
too.
didn't yell it. I said it.
Oh, okay. Anyway, let's go to YouTube time real quick and get that out of the way. Satsu, what have you been up to?
Not as much as I wanted to be up to today. I forgot Squishy was off, so she was in there watching TV and chilling out, and I was doing some behind the scenes stuff. Green Hill had an update, and they added a bunch of new stuff on there. So did Raft, by the way, Monkey. They were telling me Raft got a new update where you can do a bunch of new stuff.
Cool.
So I played a little bit of that, and like I said, did some behind the scenes stuff. I'm kind of prepping for once I start streaming over on Twitch. So I'm working that stuff out, working on the assets over there, and getting that channel built back up. But not much in the way of videos, unfortunately.
Okay. Monkey?
I did a stream this morning.
Yes,
I know.
you did.
Shocker.
Shocker. You did the shocker on your stream?
I did.
Oh my God.
There was a story that came across my path last night, and I was going to talk about it, but when I read it, there was just too much to it for me to read it while we were actually streaming. But then I read it. It came across my Twitter feed again this morning, and I read it, and I was like, Jesus fuck. And so I had to stop and talk about it. In the case, it's a Title IX case where the guy was eventually cleared. He makes out with this chick who was consensual through the whole thing. And she even says that he gave her hickeys, and it aroused her at the time, she thought. But then she realized it really didn't.
Oh, no.
And so she filed a Title IX complaint against this poor bastard, and luckily it was overturned. But yeah, her entire case was based on her roommate saw the hickeys, which made her self-conscious, and then her mom saw it on like a Skype chat and told her, "You were definitely assaulted." It was just fucking nonsense. So yeah, I had to vent about that, but otherwise, yeah, nothing.
Let's see. Sorry, I gotta write something silly on Twitter because that's what I do now. So I have completed a new video. I will be posting it tomorrow morning because I didn't want to. One tradition I did not want to pull off again today was to post a video just before the stream. I don't want to annoy people or anything. Plus, I figure I should space out the events of things. It's actually a fusion of 4 different videos. It's a chain of events because I was watching one video the other day. They mentioned this company that they were using to improve their diversity and inclusion situation at their company. I looked up this company. This company had a demo video for their product. That video in it had embedded portions of 2 other videos, which I found the full versions of. And then I worked those into the back and forth of the. So yeah, it's a little complicated. If you actually watch the demo video itself, you only get about maybe 15 seconds of each of the embedded videos. But I went the extra mile of actually setting in longer portions of those videos in time with the bits they show in the demo video. It's very, very creative on my part. That's me sort of, tooting my own horn. Anyway, I will have that posted tomorrow morning when I go to work. So hopefully people will like that. Otherwise, yeah, I think that's all the exciting YouTube stuff I have today, aside from, the anniversary and all that. Let's do a little bit of internet fucketry, just your top 2 internet fucketries for the day, and then we'll go on to me blabbing more about the last year or so.
Let me see.
Anything that comes to mind.
Satsu, you got anything while I'm looking?
Didn't get into fucketry all that much today. I was kind of honed in on what I was focusing on, other than people on Facebook still sharing really dumb shit.
Let's see.
I do. I have exactly 2 today.
Okay.
Because we already talked about the George Takei one.
Yes.
Law students nationwide are going to have a walkout, a 3-day protest.
Oh yeah.
From the 10th through the 12th. So we're in the middle of it, guys. And they say, we do not recognize Kavanaugh as a legit member of the United States Supreme Court.
Wow. One of the most futile legal gestures in the history of legality.
Yeah, no shit. It does not matter what they recognize. These are law students. They're going to be hoping one day to argue before this man. And what are they going to tell him at that time? Oh, sorry, look, you don't get to ask questions.
Well,
I don't recognize you.
It's the judicial equivalent of people like denying Trump is their president.
But it's worse because, I mean, this is a man. Okay, you're talking about law students who may argue cases in front of him one day.
If this is their way of thinking, I doubt it.
Okay, okay. Fair point. Fair point. And then the other one. The Huffington Post reported today that as a child, White House immigration advisor Stephen Miller would pour glue on his arm, let it dry, peel it off, and eat it, according to his 3rd grade teacher.
Yes.
I don't think that needs any more commentary. They're going to his 3rd grade teacher to find out dirt on him.
Well, this was my, because I was curious about the author of this article, David Moy. I was like, I wonder if David Moy's ever given an interview where he talked about his past in any way, shape, or form. And David Moy, prior to becoming a journalist, quote unquote, at the Huffington Post, he was, in several instances, he said this, a professional psychic.
Really?
So I asked the question in my little snarky Twitter response. The author of the article previously worked as a professional psychic. So I don't know, a child who once ate paste or a grown adult who lied to people for a living. Which sounds more of an indictment of one's character to you?
Oh, nice.
Because, it's like, I don't know much about Stephen Miller. Stephen Miller might be a complete asshole for all I know. But if you're going to go back to what he was doing when he was in 3rd grade, and especially something as silly and innocuous as eating glue, which is probably Elmer's glue, I'm guessing. Well, let's talk about your past then, I guess, because it's fair game, I suppose.
For the record, when I was a kid, when we're talking kindergarten here, though, I used to eat paste right out of the little tub because it was good.
Well, I used to put like Elmer's glue on my hands really thin and let it dry, and then I'd like tear it and stuff. So like I have skin hanging off my hands. It'd be all scary looking or something. Yeah, I do that. I don't remember ever eating paste. I mean, I may have tasted it when I was like very young, but it was not a habit of mine.
Oh no, I ate paste like it was my job. I loved paste. It was good.
Yeah. Well, I didn't have any other fucketry that really stood out. We've talked about most of it. Satsu, did you have anything?
No.
Okay. All right. So
2 years.
2 years. I already talked about how this all began. I'm just going to muse for a minute or 5 on a couple of things. First and foremost, as I haven't said it enough, but I'll probably keep saying it. Everyone who has watched my stuff, commented, or even if you haven't commented, everyone who's subscribed, everybody who's joined us on this show, weird accidental experiment that happened a couple of years ago, almost 2 years ago now. Thank you. I mean, I don't know what to say. Like I said, when I started this, I didn't think that I would have anything relevant to say that anyone would want to pay attention to. And the fact that I've got, over 2,000 people who have subscribed to me boggles my mind. I mean, I was going to say this last night when Monkey was talking about, he talked about how he had like a person from Britain and a person from Scotland and a person from here, there, and otherwise on his show. And just, what a sort of a revelation that is to be able to be that connected to people in the world. Monkey and myself and people in our generation are probably some of the last people to have any point of reference for just how wondrous a thing that is. Because anybody born after like 1993 or something probably doesn't remember a world without the internet and all this kind of stuff. So it seems like old hat. But the fact that 2,700, 2,800 people or whatever took the time to, even in passing, pay attention to anything I have to say, still boggles my mind, whether it was 2,000 people or 20 people. And in the last, the last 2 years, but the last year as well, just the people I've met, the contacts I've made, the friendships that have been forged between myself and Monkey and SDA and Bear and Satsu and Tailed and all you guys in the chat. And some of you I've talked to directly. I won't give away any confidences or anything, but I've talked to you directly about different things. I've had several people ask me to help them with their writing, which is a little bit of a scary thought, but I've done my best. And none of this would have come about if I hadn't just sort of bit the bullet, so to speak, and tried to emulate a little bit of the people I liked watching on YouTube. Most of what you see in my format for how I do my videos is a direct child, so to speak, of Skeptor's TEDx Horror Show playlist. If you go on Skeptor's channel, you find his TEDx Horror Show playlist, and you watch a few of those early videos, you'll probably see where I got some of my inspiration. Hagbard Celine also was a big inspiration. Finding people in positions of power that aren't the big names, the people in education, in business, the people who comport themselves as experts in things. And when they say things that kind of make my brain go, huh? is when I get my juices start flowing, not to make it too gross. Thank you, Alan Sawyer. Scribe is a control freak. Got it. Yes. I wish I had marked it. I found the video at one point not too long ago where I first started using that. I think it was one of my Race in America videos. I'm not sure. It was a long time ago. And it was completely just, and it was a conversational. It wasn't meant to be a catchphrase or anything. But as time went on, it just became this sort of punctuation for, and depending on the tone I was using when I said it, trying to understand what the person had just said, and trying to affirm that I understood, insofar as I could, whatever point or claim they were making, because ultimately, I really do, even if I don't agree with it, even if I think it's nonsense or something else, I do want to try to understand where someone's coming from, what their argument is, if they have one, and, put to the test in my own mind and against what they've said themselves, how does it hold up? Either to reality, to my own experience, to what they've said themselves, or to where they're situated in life. A lot of these experts I see on TEDx shows and things like that, they have doctor in front of their name. And I have learned so through very hard-won knowledge to always ask the question, doctor of what?
Yeah.
Because
Doctor of doom.
Yeah, doctor of, if somebody with a doctorate in gender studies is trying to tell me about the video game industry, I have to be a little suspicious. Or something like that. But anyway, that's my sort of rambling soliloquy about what I do and why I do it. Another thing too, for anybody else getting into this, and this is on my own personal thing, it's not necessarily for everybody else. I think that if I have one piece of advice for people who want to do like commentary videos or things like this, as much as you can, as much as is possible, debate the point, not the person.
I would agree.
as much as possible in my videos, you'll notice I usually refer to the people talking as our speaker rather than referring to them by name. It's not always, but for the most part, I try to separate whoever they are as an individual away from what they are saying and what they are saying specifically as the speaker. Unless they themselves bring themselves into their case or their argument. If they say, you know, in my life, I did this, and this informed where I'm at now with my pitch, then they've opened up the door. Or if, for whatever reason, they're positioning themselves as an expert on something or trying to educate others, I think it's fair to look up, if you can, what are their qualifications? What are their educational background? What are they doing, etc.? Is there anything relevant to that? And even if there's nothing relevant, just for the sake of your audience to know, where's this person coming from? And so, yeah, so as much as possible, try not to do ad hominem stuff. And I know, and trust me, there are a lot of YouTubers I like who go completely full bore on taking somebody down in sort of a personal way and making fun of them and stuff. And I enjoy that sometimes as much as anybody else. But at the core, if you're really going after somebody for what they're saying, separate out the person from their statements and really test that against, you know, common sense and critical thinking. Thank you, Azure Phoenix. I sub to you because you don't just make the same videos as everyone else. I regret nothing. I make the same videos as myself. Am I somebody else? I don't know. But anyway. Okay, so I'm going to take a break from yapping for a second.
Well, actually, I had another question for you, though.
Mm-hmm.
What is your least favorite part of YouTube? Is it the people who attack others, or is there some other part of the whole experience that drives you nuts?
You mean in the commentary realm of things, or
in anything?
What drives me nuts about YouTube? So insofar as my being a content creator?
Yeah.
Okay.
From that perspective, yes.
Lately, the most frustrating thing is feeling like I've said everything I have to on certain subjects.
Gotcha. Okay.
After you get past, like, what is it, like, I've got like 500 some odd videos now, and I know that a lot of them now are sort of weekly streams and things, but you take those out, there's still hundreds of videos I've done. The bar in my, and I've talked about this before, the bar in my mind has been risen so high of what will actually catch my attention, because I have watched so many videos on feminism, so many videos on white privilege, so many videos on diversity initiatives, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. All these things that just don't make sense to me. And I also, the other thing too, is I don't really go, for the most part, towards current events, because a lot of people, I talk about them every night on the news. A lot of other people do them much better than I do. I kind of go after the fringe stuff, the weird things off to the side about teachers and business people and stuff. But the price of that is, once you've put in a lot of work to really thinking hard about a subject and then making a video on it, unless you find someone coming at that topic from a completely oddball direction, at a certain point, you've kind of heard it all. And you really feel, and at least I do, I really feel like I just be regurgitating myself. That sounds really awful. You know what I mean? Like, just
Yeah,
I'd be reheating old food at that point, and so there's no point in making a new video about the same argument if it's coming from a different person, because it's already there. What I'd like to do is just like somehow tag my video to that video and say, here, watch this, and then watch this, kind of thing. So that's the one frustrating thing, is that as time goes on, it gets harder and harder for me to become inspired by something, or even subjects that I've usually been very interested in, because I've kind of done them to death at this point. So I wonder, as time proceeds, if I'm not going to have to either buckle down and just sort of like, redo things to keep my thoughts fresh on a subject, or if I'm going to have to start, I don't know, shifting focus to something else, or trying to find something new in the realm of these things to talk about. Because I have the way I find videos is I just go on to YouTube. I got a little list of keywords I look up, and then I just look for any videos posted today. Not like in the last year or last week or something, just whatever's come out today, and I look through and see if anything catches my attention. Because I don't want to do anything that anybody else has conceivably already done, and I want to do something that's fresh. If somebody's got a brand new argument for something, I want to sort of be on the tip of the spear for that. Thank you, William Savage. Stick around for another 2 years, but just 2.
Huh.
Well,
that's weird.
Okay, I'll tell you what. If I get 2 years onward from now and I'm still having this problem of coming up with interesting things to talk about, I will do something else with my other channel, which most people don't know about because I don't talk about it that much. And I haven't done much with it lately, but maybe someday I'll come up with a reason for it.
Okay, on the other side of things, other than talking to the 2 sexy bitches you get to talk to most nights, what's your favorite part of doing YouTube?
Well, I guess after the reason I got into it in the first place, I mean, Irate Bears sort of showed me I could do it, but the reason I really wanted to do it or something like it was the catharsis of really trying to debate back against the nonsense. Part of the reason that I was thinking about doing YouTube was because it was becoming exceedingly difficult to have conversations. I know that word is so overused, but literally a conversation with someone on Facebook, someone I knew, and being seen by people that I know in trying to challenge some of this nonsense I was seeing going on. Because then you become a villain. Then you become an exile from people that you know, and it's a very uncomfortable place to be. I have lost many a friend in this culture where we find ourselves in simply on the basis of asking, how did you come to that conclusion? And that really doesn't matter what the subject was, whether it was racism or sexism or something else, an accusation levied against someone or some celebrity or something, and it making no sense, and me asking, well, how is that racist? Which led to, in several instances, just an absolute falling out with somebody because I wasn't towing the line of going along to get along and listening to believe. So YouTube, after fashion, is a safer place in a way for me to get some catharsis about the things I see going on that kind of, like I say, catch my brain or make me worried about the future or the way people are treating each other and that kind of thing. So when I do a video, there's sort of this, unfortunately, very brief period of like, little pressure valves released. I created something. I got something off my chest. I can look at something and say, I spent time, I wrote that, I put it together. This thing did not exist until I decided to bring it into existence, and now it's out there for other people to enjoy and do other things. And there's a lot of satisfaction that comes from that. Just the process of sort of making something, which and that's why I like writing stories when the inspiration occurs. Thank you, William Savage. Non-author dark needs a renaissance. In non-author dark, one of the problems with that is similar to what I'm going through now. There's only so many ways I can talk about the same subjects over and over again. And once I've laid out all of my perspectives on, power exchange and BDSM and how I got into it and things like that, there's not much more left to say other than this is what I think. But really, BDSM is such a general category, and everybody's different. Find your own thing. Here's a couple of books I would recommend to give you some ideas, and just have fun. That's kind of where it begins and ends with me. The one thing I don't want to be too domineering about or authoritarian on is how to enjoy your own sexuality, because I wouldn't claim to know anybody else's, so to speak. So thank you, Alexi Time. Happy anniversary. Facts are only a consensus of perceptions. Ooh.
Did you get the other one that was up there? Oh, yeah, you did. Okay.
Yeah, from William Savage. Yeah.
Okay.
Both of them from William Savage. And thank you so much, guys. I know I know I say it or try to say it every night that I'm hosting everything else. I cannot tell you all, audience, chat, how bowled over I am and that you find anything I or the rest of us do so worthy as to donate your hard-earned money. I do not take that lightly. I don't take it for granted. I don't monetize any of my videos except for the streams because I want to make sure I'm not doing this for any other reason than I like doing it. If I didn't like doing it, I wouldn't want to be on Patreon or something and feel obligated to make something even if I wasn't into it. That's part of the reason why I don't have a Patreon, because if at some point I run out of steam, I really don't want to feel like I'm letting anybody down who's been like, supporting me in a way, which is kind of weird. SDA says check Twitter. Okay. I should get away from that then. Check Twitter. I don't see anything from SDA, so maybe I missed something. Or maybe she's talking to somebody else.
Who's supposed to check Twitter, woman?
Yeah, be more specific. I might have missed it. But yeah, and I am awash in Dr. Pepper, thanks to you guys. After a month and a half of being going dry, so to speak, I bought my first bottle of Jack Daniels in a month and a half.
Nice.
The only reason I took a month and a half off, I mentioned this last night, is I wanted to make sure I wasn't building any bad habits. I don't have an addictive personality by nature. At the same time, though, if I can make sure, just as sort of a test, that I'm not falling into any bad areas, I might as well give myself a little bit of a time off. So the last month and a half, I've been without any alcohol in the house. And I wasn't having any crazy cravings or thinking about drinking all day. So I think I'm okay for alcoholism at this point. Genevieve says, so Scribe, will you loan me $10? I'll pay you back $1 a year every other year till $9 is paid back. That's an interesting installment plan.
Happy anniversary.
Oh, well, hello.
I just wanted to say happy anniversary.
Well, thank you. Are you also naked and wet?
What?
Oh, well, your partner.
You missed that part of the show, apparently.
Oh, that's right. Well, your partner in Two Girls, One Street Crime jumped on here saying, "Hi, I'm wet and naked," because she just jumped out of the shower, and I thought maybe I'd get a twofer, but it's okay.
Well, no, I just got back from class, so I missed most of the.
Yeah, it's probably not good to come back from class that way.
Yeah, most of the stream, unfortunately. So I wanted to jump on and say happy anniversary, and that I'm glad that I got to spend so much time with you guys, doing the show, and I'm glad I met you guys and you, Scribe, and glad you're a person.
I'm glad I'm a person too. Also, I'm glad for you and Meatloaf. I don't think we would have nearly as much of a foundation of lore and funniness if it weren't for you and Meatloaf and the top 10 black characters in Star Wars and Cereal is Soup and all this other fun stuff that's happened over the course of time. And I just want, since you're here, I just want to take a personal minute and. I don't think it's for those veterans of the stream. I don't think it's any mystery that there were times where you and I had some rough spots, and I just wanted to first apologize for any times where I've been a little short with you, and I also want to say I appreciate the fact that despite all that, we still get along so well after the fact.
Well, look, when you talk to somebody every night for like a year and a half, you're bound to run into some nights where you get short with each other. It's all water under the bridge. We're all really good friends, and I'm so glad that the show kept going once I wasn't able to keep doing it, and I'm glad that you guys have been able to be a part of TGOS and everything, and I'm glad that you guys I'm just glad that the whole family's still together. It makes me happy.
Yeah, guys, if you're not already, sorry.
You ruined a perfect opportunity to interrupt him while he was saying all that.
Oh, fuck. Sorry, do it again.
No. Well, here I was just gonna plug your show and your stream and stuff. But
Well, yeah, you can't. Hold on, dude. I'm out of practice. I'm bad at this now, guys. I'm out of practice.
So everyone, if you're not already subscribed to
SDA, you should go to subscribe to SDA TGOS.
yes, subscribe to SDA. Subscribe to Weibo, watch their stuff, watch their show. And on Halloween, on the TGOS 2 Girls 1 Stream show on Halloween, I'm working on it now. There will be the premiere of a special fan fiction that I'm writing. The last 2 fan fictions I've written for that show have been completely ridiculous and silly.
They were great, though.
This, not so much. I am, I'll tell you what, I will read the first line of what I'm writing so far, just to give you a hint as to the direction I am taking this.
I'm so excited about this.
It is only with the most intense concentration that I can dismiss the trembling of my hands long enough to pen this missive.
Oh.
So that is the opening line. I'm channeling Lovecraft to actually try to write something a little creepy.
Are you putting big words in there?
I am putting as many big words as I can to trip you with Weibo.
No.
You guys are going to fuck the atmosphere of the story.
No, we totally are.
But that's totally fine.
Sanguine likes to call it Sanguine likes to call fan fiction time TGOS learns to read.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to be putting your vocabulary yeah, well, since Weibo doesn't know how to spell the word special, I'm going to be putting your combined vocabularies we put to the test in reading this, because I'm not holding back. I wrote a lot of Lovecraftian inspired stuff back in college. And so I'm writing something brand new just for you guys. You two will star in there after a fashion. It won't be very long. It'll probably end up being a couple of pages, but I'm working on it, so it'll be ready by the time Halloween rolls around.
Yeah, because we'll be dressed up as a bunny and a magician for Halloween.
That's our idea. And a magician. Okay, I'll try to work that into the story somehow.
Yeah.
Exciting. Well, now we're into chat time. So, guys, next half hour is your time. If you have questions, comments, complaints, conspiracy theories, compliments. I'll take compliments, you know.
You like compliments.
Speaking of compliments, not even at 100 likes yet.
Guys, what's up with that? Come on.
I asked specifically if we get to 100 likes before we got into the second hour. Now we've got half hour left in the second hour. And from my count, still 6 away. So if you have not already liked the stream, please do like the stream. It does actually, so far as I'm told, help out with YouTube analytics and such over the course of time. So the more likes, the better. Let's see. Jack Gunsky asks, Scribe, do you ever talk about the show at your real work? No. I think in my real life, maybe aside from my parents and my sister, I think there's only like 1 or 2 other people that know I do this. This is totally for me and nobody else is whatever. I don't. Yeah. Ryan Rawlings, you made me sad, Scribe. Why did you ignore the blurb? Oh, did you send a blurb? I did not know.
We didn't see the blurb.
Yeah, you got to. I got to try to find it now. How long ago did you send it? I've got a lot of stuff between. Oh, okay. I found it. Tonight on Lords of the Night, someone has kidnapped the Dr. Pepper delivery driver for Scribe's area.
Oh no.
My area? Like down in my pants? Will Satsu and Monkey be able to keep Scribbles from going on a vigilante-style hunt? Will Grand Monkey's scheme to mind control Scribbles fail?
No,
will Ranting Monkey stop slicing up Irate Bear with a bardish? I'm not sure I know what that word is. Will Squishy let Satsu out of the bedroom? Tune in to find out. Jesus.
I don't know if you guys saw on Twitter, probably not because I posted it like just now, but our professor brought in swords today and it was great. Like real swords.
For what purpose was that?
My Byzantine Empire professor.
Okay. I was about to say, like, what subject was that?
It's history. Yeah, he was because he brought in compact bows, like archery bows, and a couple weeks ago, and then he was like, I also have a sword collection, and we were like, you should bring that too. And like we've been saying that for weeks, and we were sort of kidding because we didn't think he could, you know, because it's like pointy and pokey and stabby.
Yeah.
And then today we just saw him with like the bag, and there were hilts hanging out of the bag, and we were like, oh my god, he brought swords. It was so cool.
Let's see. Ebony Williams says, best way to lose one's virginity by having sex with someone you're attracted to.
Consensually.
Consensually, yes.
It doesn't have to be consensual. It's fine. What?
Says
The
SDA.
opinions of SDA are not necessarily those of the other
That was a
lords of the night.
joke, by the way.
Monkey, I think she's trying to one up you, bro.
I think she is.
Wait, from what? What happened?
Well, Monkey has he has made it his business to say at least one incriminating thing in every stream we do.
I've been good tonight.
Oh,
yeah,
well,
you actually
my
have
turn.
been, but
let's see. Cynical Lindsay says, what is your favorite cake flavor? I don't know. I mean, German chocolate or just white cake. I mean, it depends on there's different kinds of cake that taste really good, but yeah. Do you guys Monkey's a German chocolate SDA?
Strawberry.
Satsu.
yeah, I like probably chocolate over everything else. I don't know if I've ever had German chocolate cake though.
We're now at 115 likes. Thank you guys so much. Appreciate that.
Jews really don't like German chocolate.
Har. Let's see. Thank you, Earl Walton. Scribe, is your YouTube persona your Batman or your Bruce Wayne?
Oh. That's a good question.
So far as I can tell you, the attitude and the person you hear on here is no put on. It's not a character I'm playing. So yeah, the Scribe Light is a pseudonym, but the person you're listening to is as genuine as I know. Let's say I might be a little bit more bombastic here than I would be in sort of a social situation, just because we're on the radio and you kind of have that freedom. But yeah, everything else is about as genuine as I can make it, or as far as I know. I missed something. Let's see. SDW175 says a bardish is a type of pole arm, like a long spear, but a different tip. Okay, I know I'd seen the word somewhere before, but I didn't quite imagine what it was. Devil Fruit Zero Scribe, love your content and fun idiosyncrasies. Now a question: do you wear glasses? I do wear glasses. Oh, there you go. Let's see. Genevieve says, Scribe, you're right. I'll pay you back the $10 every month's 2 cents until the full payment of $4 is paid back. Do you work for the IRS by any chance, Jenna, on your free time? RJ Banzo says, Scribelight, happy anniversary. Scribelight, one of the best intelligent dudes I know. You and the rest of chat are like family to me. Well, you guys have grown on me like a strange fungus over the last couple of years as well. So thank you, Flair Fritz. Nah, his Batman would be non-author Dark Knight. Har, 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 har.
That was actually pretty well played.
I like it.
Actually, non-author Dark might be my Mr. Hyde. It's as far as like the YouTube avatars go, Scribelight's the Dr. Jekyll, and non-author Dark is the Mr. Hyde. If there were to be fan fiction of those two characters, that's kind of how it would work. Thank you, Three-Sided Coin, so much. Happy anniversary to you, Scribe. Might be the last super chat I send for a while. I was responsible for losing my firm $300 million today.
Holy fuck, dude!
Yeah, so that's a thing. Maybe I should try this YouTube thing. I mean, if you can do it, I don't know what to say to that. I'm very curious to know how you singly did that. But I privacy is yours. But
dude,
Jesus
make a video
Christ,
talking about that. It'll blow up.
That reminds me of if you want to find out a story that's even more catastrophic than that sounds, look up the story of Nick Leeson, Leeson, Nick Leeson, from back in the I believe it was the 80s. He alone, a commodities trader for Barings Bank, he by himself destroyed that bank. I won't tell you how. The story is amazing. There's a great little documentary you can find on YouTube if you look up Nick Leeson that BBC did back in the 90s or something. There was a movie version of the story that starred Ewan McGregor called Rogue Trader, which is it's okay. The true story is better than anything they put on the movie, but holy cow, dude! I hope you're not liable for anything. I guess.
Yeah, no shit.
Jesus,
Oh, shit.
keep us updated. Chatmort says I may or may not be intrigued.
Genuine reminder that suicide is bad for you.
Yes, but Mash has told us that it is painless. But
SDA is a piece of shit and she's a bitch, but like genuine reminder that suicide's bad for you.
Yeah.
I thought you were reading something. I was like, who said that?
Yeah.
That's not nice.
Yeah.
Oh man. That's a ridiculous amount of money.
Yeah, if that's accurate, holy cow, dude! I don't know what to say. That's
make sure your first video is titled that. By the way,
no shit.
Yeah, that'll get you a lot you attention. Real quick. I lost my company $300 million. Here's how you can avoid that. You'd make a inspirational speaker real quick. Jenna P says 3-sided coin. I told you not to use me as your accountant. All right, har. Angela Arriaga, Scribe, where do you stand when it comes to hickeys? Do you like to mark your territory?
Oh, God, that's another thing from this morning. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
As much as possible in my play, I do my best not to leave marks unless there's an agreement ahead of time that that's okay. And that counts for whether it's using implements or hickeys and such. So it's conditional on the person and whether or not we have that understanding in the relationship or in the whatever else.
In that story this morning, that was another part. She with the hickey, she realized he was just trying to mark his territory.
Oh, yeah. I don't really feel like I need to mark my territory in that way. I figure if I have you strapped to my bed, I kind of already got you there.
Yep.
Let's see. Older Mind says, "Happy Channelversary, Scribe." Channelversary. I didn't know before. You all have helped me to maintain some type of sanity, believe it or not. Well, I'm glad you're less insane, thanks to us.
Believe it or not.
Harvos Marvos says, Scribe. So during your show, Schwarzenegger apologizes for using phrase "girly men," witches to hex Kavanaugh in a cult ritual. No escape now. Atlas robot revealed running and jumping. Yeah, I saw. I reposted the Atlas robot video, which is creepy because it's doing mild parkour jumping, which is crazy. I saw the Schwarzenegger story about how he apologized for going too far with some women, etc. Don't know about the witches and hexing Kavanaugh, but God knows I'm not surprised. Let's see. What else?
SDA, I'm about to send you a picture.
Oh, 3-sided coin says, okay. Suffice it to say, it boils down to I couldn't come up with a way to get a guy an item, and he pulled his investment. Oh.
Ouch.
Damn.
Dude.
Well, if there was no reasonable way for you to meet the guy's request, I mean, that sucks, but if he put a task in front of you that was, unreasonable, I hope that doesn't held against you, but I don't know the details, but again, I hope it works out, whatever it is. That's just nuts.
Yeah, that's fucked
An
up,
update
man.
for all who cares. I am off of Twitter punishment in 30 minutes.
Okay.
Yay!
Well, good. Then you can start tweeting again.
Until he gets in trouble again.
RJ Bansma, or Scribe, are you related to Albert Einstein? Well, technically, most of us are related in some way, shape, or form to Charlemagne. If you look up who's related to Charlemagne, you'll find that a lot of the Europeans are. And
that's just because they inbreed a lot.
Well, they inbreed a lot, and because of plagues and everything else, the line of Charlemagne going downward is all over the place. So technically, probably. I can't say for certain without doing, I guess, one of those genealogy things. But
for any of the Europeans who are in our audience, why are you so up on inbreeding? What is that?
Well, most of them were like on locked islands and things and sort of very cloistered cultures back in the day.
We got planes, trains, and automobiles now. That ain't right.
Well, it's all about keeping the royal bloodlines pure.
Yeah.
I haven't got, you know what,
humpers.
Monkey? I'm taking the class that really gets into that next semester. So if we talk about it, I'll get there. But I will say you'll like this, Monkey. So I was in my my Origins of Britain class, and we were talking about the Huns and about how like they deform their babies just by like wrapping their heads so that their skulls like elongate.
Mm-hmm.
And this girl like in my class who like she looked to me like she just had like the liberal look to her, okay, but she just goes like fucking Asians and like deforming their children.
Wow.
Like in class, and my professor just looks at her and goes, yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
and then we were just like,
Fucking
yeah, no, they do
Asians.
that. Because she was like, what is it with them and the wrapping things? And he was like, they just do that. I don't know.
Raymond Lewis says, Charlemagne, wasn't he the Holy Roman Emperor? Well, I don't know, Raymond. Maybe if you go look it up, you'll learn something.
All right, I just sent it to you, SDA.
Chatmort
Okay.
says, holy shit. Holy shit what?
Well, probably what I just said.
Probably,
That
yeah.
too. Oh, yeah, too, yeah. Oh, yeah, if you're not subscribed to Chatmort, go subscribe to Chatmort. It'll
That's my new glam.
make her all like embarrassed and blush and stuff. The Inca did it too, says Azure Phoenix. Yeah, a lot of cultures did that to, I guess it was a ceremonial thing, or like, marked someone as special or something. I'm not quite sure.
Well, the Huns were especially notorious for deforming themselves.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of the Asian cultures do a lot of wrapping as children grow.
Like
foot wrapping, notably in China.
Binding. Feet binding is so fucking horrific looking.
Yeah, no, it's horrific. And for whatever, it's an Asian culture thing for the most part, is where it's most commonly found, which is where the fucking Asians comment came from. And like this girl knows this professor really well, which is how she got away with it. Like if I had said a comment like that in front of one of my other professors, I would have gotten away with it because he knows me really well. So it was like one of those things. But I just like was not ready for it because it was like the second week of class when it happened.
Let's see. Ebony Williams says, Scribelight, I'm taking my parents out for their birthdays next Saturday. My dad's is today and my mom's is next Thursday. Should I order them dessert? Or I guess it's an or would it be false advertising? I don't understand unless you order dessert and then like not give it to them.
Okay, this is weird.
What's that?
That's weird.
So, you guys know I've been banned from Twitter for 24 hours. Well, not 7 days, right?
Yeah.
The last 30 minutes of my ban, they won't let me access anything until this last 30 minutes is up.
Well, banned.
Like I can't even get into my Twitter. They just take me straight to the screen that says you're in trouble.
Interesting. Peter Hayes says, Scribelight, what is your favorite video that you've made? Does one stand out?
Good question.
Well, the videos, it's actually a series. It's not one video. There are a lot of videos that I really do like. Some that I would say is my best stuff. But I think the one that really stands out to me, there's a playlist on my channel. It's called Down the Rabbit Hole. And it's not have anything to do with that channel called Down the Rabbit Hole. I didn't know about that at the time. But it was one of the very first times where watching one video led me to other discoveries and eventually led me to something that I think was a school violating Title IX laws. And I know that sounds weird, but if you watch the playlist Down the Rabbit Hole, hopefully you'll see the very first video in that kind of explains my sort of chain of discovery just for that one video. And each subsequent video is leading off from the last into this weird sort of, interconnected revelation about some things. And the sound quality and my editing skills at the time weren't, the greatest as they're more refined now. But I think overall, that's one of my favorite sort of like projects that I fell upon. As far as individual videos, Gosh, there are a few that I really do like how they came out. I'll have to like make a list of like, here are my favorites or something sometime for people that just want like what I think are my best stuff. Let's see. Satsu, did you see the latest demo video for the RE2 remake? Says Cynical Lindsay.
Are you talking about the Claire Redfield gameplay? Because if you're talking about that, yes. If it's anything outside of that, I have not. But I will go look at that immediately after the stream because I am so ready for that game.
Let's see. Ebony says restaurants give you free dessert if it's your birthday, Scribe. Oh, my folks' birthdays would have already passed. Oh. Well, I mean, unless they ask for ID for the sake of the free birthday, I guess you can get away with it. You know,
Do it. See what happens.
yeah, see what happens. It's like, or just be honest with them. It's like, you know, they both had their birthdays last week, but they're celebrating them now. Hey, there's no reason to be like, you know, deceptive about it. You know, I bet some nice, especially if you leave a nice tip, I'm sure the waiter will probably bring you a free dessert. Well, technically free.
Geograth asked, "What's the most legal taboo porn in your? What's the most like taboo porn in your opinion that's legal?"
Most legal taboo porn.
Yeah.
Midgets.
I love me some midgets.
Yeah, I don't know what legal taboo. I mean, usually the taboo stuff has to do just with the setting, like if they're faking a stepmom and kid thing, or here's my stepsister. That's about as close as they get to taboo stuff that's legal, where either it's staged to be the stepsister or family.
Hopefully staged.
Yeah, hopefully staged step family member, whether it's stepfather, stepmother, or whatever. I guess. Other than
Why is that so popular nowadays?
Because it's taboo.
Because I've seen like videos of the same, like that have different, like the same video but a different title in like a feed or whatever.
Yeah.
And like one will just say fucking my girlfriend, and then the other one will say fucking my stepsister, and I'm like, it's the same video.
Well, it's it's people stealing other people's videos, retitling them, and trying to get the ad revenue off of them. Because as far as I know, you or Pornhub and those things, they don't really police that stuff as well, I don't think. But anyway, thank you, Alice Morgan. Thanks for the last 2 years. This stream has been a great end to a day where I jumped out a perfectly good airplane. I hope you're either in the military, or
just had a parachute,
or did it for fun, and not that you were required to because the plane was going down.
No, see, that's the perfectly good airplane part.
Oh, well, maybe. Yeah, okay.
I interrupted him. I did a good job.
You did?
I didn't even notice. Monkey's like put my tolerance so high now, it's just kind of like, eh.
I've taken what you used to do to all kinds of new levels.
Yeah, he has. Let's see. 8 minutes to go, guys. Random American says, that was plain to see, Scribe Light. Har, 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 har.
I love those kind of jokes.
Har, har. Let's see. Genti Max says, Satsu Monkey, I know you're probably going to seal, but you two, Scribe, want to play a round of Quiplash with us after? Oh, to sleep, probably. Yeah, well, you're absolutely right. I have to get up at 4 a.m. tomorrow, so I won't be doing much else but going to bed after the stream. So
Scribe gets up at the butt crack of dawn, y'all.
Yeah, and I have a doctor's appointment tomorrow, so which is at like 7:45 in the morning. So I gotta go to work, get some work done, then I have to go off to the doctor, then I have to come back to work and finish up. It's going to be a busy day tomorrow.
Yeah, guys, he's going to find out if he's pregnant tomorrow.
That's right. Yes, and the answer will be no.
Let us know if it's a boy or a girl.
I will. Jenna P says, hey, Scribe, congratulations. I tried to make it through the whole stream, but headache is getting worse. So night all, and thanks, Scribe. You've been a great help to me and most everyone in this chat. 8 minutes. Chat 8 minutes.
I think 8 minutes, maybe, because it was 8 minutes left. I don't know.
8 minutes, yes. Well, thank you, Jenna P. Thank you so much. Jenna P. is one of our long time and most loyal fans and followers and everything else. And thank you so much, Jenna. And any any help or comfort, entertainment that has come about from us doing this as just, like I said, an accident 2 years ago or whatever it was now, I'm both grateful for and also surprised by and sometimes bewildered by. But I do appreciate the fact that you guys appreciate us. So,
Indeed.
Yes,
Absolutely.
backscan. I did know that, by the way.
What do you ask?
He asked a Resident Evil question.
Resident Evil question about licking things.
Wait, what?
Okay.
Yeah, that's what it says. When the first liquor falls from the ceiling, did you know that a head was supposed to fall first?
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Satsu likes talking about licking some head.
I like getting my head licked, but
Oh well.
Yeah.
That makes SDA grossed out.
Yeah, Satsu
for
licking
why?
head didn't gross her out.
SDA lick head.
No,
But not
SDA.
that.
Yeah, no,
Not Satsu's head.
Yeah,
I can
that
confirm
no.
that.
Well, yeah, sure. SDA only licks head when it has to do with Assassin's Creed.
That's right.
No, that was the exact opposite problem. I feel like you guys like totally missed the point of that story.
No, the point was Assassin's Creed. Everything else doesn't matter next to the fact that it was Assassin's Creed.
I think you just wanted to bring up Assassin's Creed.
Okay.
Exactly.
You did.
I actually
You
own 2 of those games, but I've only played one for like an hour, and I never really got into it. Of course, I'm not really a console junkie. Oh, thank you, Chat Mort. I have nothing noteworthy to say. Happy Scribbleversary, though. Thank you, Chat Mort, or Cat Death, or Dead Cat, however that goes. Chat Mort is a very pretty girl. It's too bad that she's already engaged. Not that I'd have anything to do with that otherwise. If you're not subscribed to her, by all means, go check out her channel and her stuff. Especially if you like anime. Oh God, my Twitter stream just with her like fawning over anime characters and particular artists and things. Yeah, so if you're an anime fan, you will find a friend in Chat Mort.
Is it just me, or
Right.
is like everybody getting engaged?
I'm not.
Well, yeah, but like
I'm not.
you're
Yeah.
Monkey.
Yes, ma'am.
You came prepackaged, but like I feel like everybody like who wasn't previously engaged, you were already married.
Monkey came prepackaged.
He was already married.
Once.
Yeah, that's true. And Monkey used a condom one time, and after that, it was like, whoops, I guess I'm having kids now.
I got to tell you, one of my favorite things about Lady Monkey is that she doesn't like condoms.
There you go. Let's see. 4 minutes, guys. If you have any questions or anything else. Now, tomorrow, as a reminder, we'll be on Satsu's channel rather than my channel on Fridays because Satsu and I switched. So be sure to pay attention to that tomorrow. But then after that, we're back on the regular schedule. So Monkey's channel on Saturday, Sunday off, and then back on Satsu's channel on Monday. And then also on Sunday, remember to subscribe to SDA and Weibo so that you catch their stream, Two Girls, One Stream. They do Sundays and Wednesdays before our stream. Thankfully, they don't intersect with us because they don't want to try to steal our audience, I think.
And that's nice of them because they have boobs and we just don't.
Yeah, really, they do. And Weibo showed up here like all wet and naked. So, that's going to be a spike in attention by next time.
No doubt.
Thank you, One Ton Hammer. It's been a great 2 years, Scribe. I remember being at the first test stream that you and Monkey did that wasn't intended to be public. Damn, you are one of the old guard. That was the weirdest thing. Monkey's
Those
like,
were the days, man.
I need to learn how to stream. And I was like, oh, I can show you. And we come on there. This is not this is just a test stream. And like 75 people showed up in the first 3 minutes. We're like, we're just showing him how to do the stream, guys. There's nothing going on. People are still there.
You know what? It was a pretty good indicator of what our audience would be like because they don't listen now either.
Yeah, that's true.
And
I
it
even
wasn't
said,
long
do not
after
watch
that
this.
that I got roped into everything either.
Let's see. Chatmort says, Satsu, I actually met my fiance and most of my friends in our college's anime club. Well, at least you found somebody who you share an interest with. That's always good.
I met Squishy at a anime convention.
See, most of the girls I got involved with, I met at a function type thing that had a shared interest. But yeah, they were all bad decisions in the end. But what do you know?
It was bitches.
Each one was its own story.
Bitches get stitches.
That's right.
That's right. Let's see.
I hate women.
The bat douche says, "Why you no read my comments ever? You guys missed my birthday request for my boyfriend on October 1st too."
What?
Well, what's your boyfriend's name? I'm sorry. You need to tell us your boyfriend's name, and we'll sing "Happy Birthday" as the closeout for the show.
Sometimes you have to yell at us a lot, and you can check
Yeah.
with the other people here that's just true.
Yeah,
That's how Peter became the Peter.
Yeah,
That's true.
Capital letters, and also, asking other people in the chat, "Hey, can other people say that there's a birthday so they'll see it?"
Or tag us. That helps.
That helps too.
Just so you know, the last message he said was, or this person said was, "Happy anniversary, Scribe. Only been watching since earlier this year, but this is the best current event stream I have found. I used to watch Drunken Peasants after their drama, but they turned to shit."
Oh, well, thank you.
Thank you.
Duke. The boyfriend's name is Duke. So, guys, let us sing "Happy Birthday," belated, admittedly, to Duke.
Duke, I'm sorry we fucked this up. Your girlfriend said that she'll touch your pee-pee, especially for our fuck up, and that and this one is for you, and a 1 and a 2.
Duke of Earl, Duke of Earl, Duke.
I don't know what to do here.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Duke of Earl, Duke of Earl, Duke of Earl.
Happy birthday. Please forgive us.
Duke.
Dear
Happy
Duke.
birthday.
Yeah, what?
Happy belated birthday.
Happy birthday.
Duke.
To you.
Happy birthday. I hope it was a good one, and I am
Happy
sorry
birthday.
we missed that.
Hey, if somebody's name is Duke, you got to sing Duke of Earl.
Man, that was a fuster cluck.
I know, right? But anyway, guys, everyone, thank you so much for joining us tonight, and me in particular, since it's my special night. And thank you to everybody who donated. As I say, I'm humbled perpetually by your generosity, and I really do appreciate it. And moderators, even though you didn't really have to do much tonight, thank you for keeping an eye on things for me. I really appreciate that. And everybody who's been with me since the beginning, everybody who's been with the show since the beginning, we'll be back tomorrow, per usual, to keep you informed and entertained, hopefully. So, Satsu, Monkey, thank you for joining me as always. Weibo in absentia, and also, Unclothed, thank you for coming on briefly. SDA, thank you for dropping in and saying hello.
Thank
Really
you for
appreciate
having
that.
me on.
And everyone, your lives make us sad, and we will see you tomorrow.
Bye, guys.
I love you, SDA.
Love you, Sassy.
That was delayed. My feelings are hurt.
Let's see. And today's secret word.
Did anybody give us yesterday's secret word?
Wasn't
Well, yeah, as people did
No.
before the stream started. Satsu's vagina.
Oh, okay, I missed that.
Yeah,
All
it
right.
was, it was not everybody. It wasn't everybody, but it was some people. Okay, so I've turned to a random page in Screw the Roses, Send Me the Thorns, the romance and sexual sorcery of sadomasochism. I'm going to randomly drop my finger onto a page, and today's secret word is... Oh, what are the odds? Today's secret word is stroke.
Nice.